There's an alley that's been blocked off the main stretch of the marketplace where several Legion guards are investigating a brutal murder that took place during the public executions. A blonde woman hangs upside down, blood pooled underneath her lifeless corpse. Sir, look at this. This was nailed to her chest. The guard hands a piece of parchment with religious script scrawled across it to the sharp-framed elf known as Patroclus. This looks like a copycat, but I'm going to take it back and compare it against the others. Get her down, take her down, clean the scene. Shopkeepers are going to be complaining here soon. Hey, go at it. And Patroclus, he turns and leaves, and a couple of the guards take Mara down from her final resting place. They turn to get a burlap bag to cart her body off. And as her eyes flutter to life, her complexion returning, her fair skin returning from that dull gray. Her body jolts, and in a single motion, her hand juts forward, black crystals ripping into the backs of the guards, striking them face down in the dirt. Her veins ripple with a wave of black energy. She composes herself, then she turns and disappears into the crowded marketplace. Hello and welcome to another adventure with Myths and Mystics. We are an actual play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To my right is Gerald Waldrop as Zarin, the Changeling Avenger.
Hail and well met.
Natasha Waldrop as Vanya, the Half-Drow Assassin.
Hi!
And Matt Murphy as Stone, the Human Mystic.
Hello!
I like how he always
We're
gives
all
that
here.
look like you really expect me to say something new and unique right now.
Yeah,
And I'm
been
Steve
over
Messenger, your Dungeon Master. Thanks for tuning in. Season 3.
Boom!
Welcome. We've
still alive.
We've made a few changes. Nothing too major.
Stone's dead.
Mostly Stone is dead. They are carrying him around much like Weekend at Bernie's. Just trying to save face.
I'm just here to watch. It seems fun.
Yep.
We have 2 bags of holding. We can fit him in one or both of them.
Yeah, you know, kind of like a fur bog in a crate. Either way, you got to do it. You got to do it. Thanks for tuning in. So hopefully that opening monologue wasn't too depressing for you. Your characters don't know what's going on. So.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, by the way.
Was like you mentioned off camera that there was going to be a line. Was it going to be something like you should have gone for the head?
No. So the line was going to be, because she does have a series of spells. And what did Oker tell you to watch out for?
The spells?
Like, if you think she's doing one thing, she's doing another. Like, she's real tricky like that. See, I had this really cheeser, like Arnold Schwarzenegger style. She was going to get up, and she was going to say, "Fools, I don't die. I only feign death."
Oh, I can say it.
Right, because that's a spell.
That's right.
That's a spell she has.
But you don't say that you're doing it.
Yeah, that's...
Why the line wasn't in there.
I'm disappointed that you even considered it.
I actually typed it out.
Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
And I sat
That's
there.
creative.
And I nodded for a moment. Like,
Yeah.
So that way everyone knows that she feigned death. And then I was like, no, that's incredibly dumb. And I just bash face. And I'm like, I have those moments, friends. I have those moments of self-doubt. You know, I'm getting ready to leave the house. I did my hair, spent all morning on it. I'm like, no, fuck this. And it's just gone now. It's all gone. So thank you for tuning in. Wanted to do... before we really jump into the meat and taters of the season 3, taters, wanted to talk a little bit, just kind of state of the union of Myths and Mystics. Give everyone a little bit of an update. Yes, we will salute the Myths and Mystics flag as it sails behind me. Just picture it rippling back here.
There's a picture of a dragon.
Beautiful.
A wizard.
That's the dragon. I always move the wrong way. There it is. One of the new changes. So just want to give a quick update and a thank you. So we started this back on October 31st. We had a Halloween release date. This whole thing started, I think, back in like June of 2018. Matt and I were hanging out and just grilling up some meats and talking about possibly doing a podcast, something like that. And we just set a target date of October 31st to release this thing. And we didn't even have the full roster figured out yet, but we ended up talking to Gerald and Natasha. They were on board. We commandeered their household on the regular. And it's come a long way. In fact, from our original release date, we were getting on average about 10 downloads per week. And if you do the math, at least half of those are from people on the show. And in all fairness, probably the other
half are just me because I have a lot of devices.
Yes. You got to get it on all of them, right? Yeah, across all platforms. So over the course of the next several months, where we're trending at now, thanks to all the listeners and you guys tuning in and telling your friends. And again, this isn't, we're not Joe Rogan. Right, we're not.
Yet.
We're not yet. I haven't done DMT yet, or have I? What a twist. We're not the Critical Role. You know, there's a lot of great podcasts out there. We're nowhere near that. But for us, just doing this thing out of the basement with the gear that we've got, we're averaging around 100 downloads a week.
Whoop, whoop.
So thank you so much for tuning in and listening. This is one of those things where we had played D&D in the past, different groups of us, and it was one of those things where like we should record that. You know, it would be a lot of fun, even if nothing happened. So the fact that there's at least 100 folks, not just in the U.S., but also apparently in Europe, South America,
Japan,
Australia, Hawaii, which is part of the U.S. I get it. I know. I get it.
We also have some in Alaska, which is also part
Did
of
we
the
have
US, but
someone in
it's-
Alaska?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're big in the non-contiguous states.
It's going to make interesting tours. But yeah, we've got folks all over the world that are tuning in at this point. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's awesome, and you know, it's one of those things. You know, we've talked about sort of the direction of the show and things that we want to do, and honestly, like we love doing this. We're going to continue to do this. Anything that you can do to support, just kind of gives us some sort of reaffirmation that we're doing the right thing. We're human, and sometimes we need an attaboy. And speaking of which, I did want to read, and of course I didn't pull it up. I know
You're
it's
doing
time
great,
to,
Steve.
I'm failing miserably.
You're so good at DMing.
Like hosting a show.
Yeah.
We did have some reviews come in on iTunes. And if you know anything about the podcasts, reviews are the best way for newer shows to gain more of an audience. The algorithms that Steve Jobs came up with, God rest his soul, they still use today. I don't know if that's true. But
I don't think that's true.
it's probably not true at all.
Someone in the team works
but-
for him, probably. At some point.
Someone.
I can't say it with any certainty.
Yes. The cool thing is that we are getting reviews on there. We've got several 5-star reviews so far. No one's bombed us out on one, so thank you for that. But some listeners have tuned in and given us some reviews. So one from Then Rody says,
Do them in character voices.
Now I'm on the spot.
Yep.
It should be Harvey, the Birdman.
There's your first one.
Reading this for Then Rody. He says, I have listened to the first 8 episodes, and there's never a dull moment. Even when you're listening to the tiny break in between the episode, there's always a smile to be brought out. The players are great, and the Dungeon Master is keeping up with the content and the twist he brings up out of nowhere. Definitely recommend! Exclamation points.
He recommends
Nice.
exclamation points. That's great.
Awesome.
Yes. And
Definitely
then,
use them.
we had another one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then,
Or gal.
then
You?
Rody, and then we had another one from Abigail W1, and she says, all my female voices are always like, just a little bit higher because I have trouble coming up with other accents for them.
Just go even higher then.
But she says, I've never really played Dungeons and Dragons, but I like to watch people play it. It's awesome and funny how you guys play it, and your conversations are entertaining. It was nice meeting you in Cleveland at the Wizard Con. Thanks for introducing me to your podcast.
So this was one of those
Very nice.
awesome folks at con.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So fantastic stuff there. That kind of stuff. If you enjoy listening to the show, we don't bombard you with like, was it all the meal in a box things that get shipped to your house kind of advertisements? Or
We
like,
should though. They're really good.
They are fantastic.
I've been doing that.
Yes. We could mail food to people's houses.
We will mail food to you if you pay us money.
I will mail you some.
Leftovers.
Add that in your feedback. So when you go to the website and you want to tell us about like what you like about the show,
Yes.
what kind of food do you want?
Well, more like pick a day of the week of. If you pick Wednesday, it'll be like what Steve ate Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some leftovers.
Yeah.
Or we'll send you a recipe, maybe something like.
Yeah. I'll share a Hot Pocket with you. I'll take one. You have the other. There you go. So yes, thank you for sending that kind of stuff. It means a lot to us. It's one of those things where when we started out, we had no idea how it was going to take off, and we all kind of had this commitment. Like if it came up in circles of friends and family and conversation and whatnot, we'd bring it up. But all the support we've got has, by and large, been from people checking us out, giving us a chance, listening, that sort of thing. So,
We're like tech, audio, video guys and gals, and so it was like we're gonna play this game regardless. So we might as well record it and have something awesome for ourselves. And
Right.
if people like it, great. And it's really encouraging that people like you listening now do like it. Well, at least we hope you like it. You're listening in season 3, so we're thinking there's something you've latched onto. But I
It
digress.
could be masochism, but
Yeah. But no, it means a lot.
Yeah. So I guess, we just asking a favor when you're on, if you're listening on iTunes, wherever you might be, if you could leave us some kind of review, I'd love to read them on the show. If you're on Instagram, leave us a little comment on there and that sort of thing. And we'd love to do like a mailbag episode sometime. We've got a lot of people listening, and I'm sure you've got questions. We'd love to answer them for you. So maybe coming up here for a bonus episode, if you want to send your questions to missandmystics@gmail.com, we would love to answer those for you. So,
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
So, kicking off season 3, we're going to do things a little bit different here.
Okay.
A little bit different. So, some time has passed since y'all killed Mara, or so you thought. So you guys are taking time to do different things and whatnot. Just real quick, we'll say about 4 months has passed, pushing 5 months. What are some of the things that your characters do in the downtime? What are some of the things that, hobbies or things that you study, things like that? Who wants to start?
Well, Zarin has, because he's quite charismatic and he has the ability to change his faces, he likes to spread the notoriety of the angel of death. So telling the stories of and trying to reinforce through his other characters, his other personas that he takes on.
So does he tell stories in public as other people about himself?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes, he helps
He's
to
like the one
further
at
his
the
own
inn telling
for the
everybody.
legend. And it's mostly
Has he rated Myths and Mystics podcast with his other account?
This is totally not the character in the game, rating himself. Yeah, but he doesn't care. He's so much about his own personal benefit, but he definitely wants people to know and fear doing evil. So deter people. Like the hope is because that ritual that he does is so out there. It's stark. It's striking. They'll know. But when he retells the story to others, and hopefully they retell to others that it's, this person did these things and he came for them.
Gotcha. All right. I like it.
He's the boogeyman of the bad
Keeping the
guys.
justice.
Yeah.
For great justice.
Awesome. What's Vanya up to in her downtime?
Well, working on all her skills so she can be.
She just sneaks around her house
Yeah.
to see that she can hear herself. She's like pets, and she tries to sneak up on them. Gotcha.
I think Vanya would still have some work maybe with the
Heaven Shade.
yes,
That's-
because her main goals have not been solved and she's been very busy since she's joined because she joined these gentlemen on a mission of her own to further her like family and who she is. So she's probably still working a little bit with them when she has downtime and researching because there was that recent drow she saw in tombs. What are we calling that?
The dungeon. Oh, the
Yeah.
Tomb of Elric.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
The
That-
Dragonless dungeon.
Yeah, and she hasn't seen another drow for a while. So she's probably looking into that, trying to follow leads if she has any,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Sneakily.
Sneaking. And good. And then Stone, what's Stone up to?
That reminds
Stone has been doing counter cross stitch.
Come again?
He's been very, very good at it. It's just his he lives in a hut. And
skill.
it's nothing but covered walls with counter cross stitch. So very good. No.
What
he-
is counter cross stitch?
oh.
That sounds
You'll
like
have to ask Stone.
Okay.
He can give you the whole.
in game. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
He's decorating our wing.
that
It's all
reminds
pictures of him doing all the things the party did by himself.
They're still in the picture. They're just
Autographed.
very
It's
small
very tiny.
and off to the side.
No, so he's been in solitude. It's been kind of like go on a spirit quest to try to study into like meditating,
Yeah.
trying to figure out things that he has seen that's been disturbing to him. Obviously, out of the game, you've heard of his like visions and things, and that's got him stirred. His whole life, he's been stirred by these things, and now it's like there's been a period of silence, and suddenly, boom, he's being contacted again by this evil spirit. So trying to just figure that out, establish that connection, and just honing his psionic skills to. I mean, I think he partially wants to tune this out. He wants this to go away, but I think he understands that the kind of the only way out is through.
Yeah.
So he's feeling stronger and more courageous, and he's grown psionically, and so he's trying to just figure out himself and these communications and what this evil is, and tossing around. Should I be fighting this thing? Should I be attacking it? Like, what do I do?
That makes sense.
Frenemies.
Doesn't know.
Frenemies.
Enemies.
that
Excellent.
reminds me.
Yes.
So, aside from the downtime sort of spreading his own legend, back from season 1, the end of season 1, there was a confrontation where with the not the dark, the Dare Dark,
The Arcos.
the Arcos, yes,
Yes.
where Zarin kind of put himself in a position where he could be close to, was it Simon?
Rector Simon.
Yeah. To ensure that they weren't doing things that he didn't approve of. So
Right.
he'd probably be touching base there to find out what's going on. To kind of, he wants to utilize or steer them in a direction where they're establishing proper order rather than underhanded black market manipulation, stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's his whole story in itself. However, we didn't dive into that, but that's one of his motivations. Other than that, he still wants to know about the Titans, and he knows that they were created, but following up on if they're still going through with creating these things for the Legion, and obviously we know that there are other entities involved with Mara.
Mara.
Yes, so he
one.
he would be interested in following up on that
Figuring out
because
some of
they're
that stuff.
evil threats. Yeah,
Okay. Cool. So it's interesting because some of the things that you just mentioned, we're gonna tap into here today, friends.
Beautiful.
We're gonna tap into some of this. So one thing that we need to cover before we get too much further is you all have leveled up. You've done such a great job. You are all level 6 now.
Bam.
Level up.
King's note.
Yep. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I got 2.
I
That's not how
tried.
that works.
I understood that I would receive a king's note every time.
No.
Someone
have
feels
to.
it happen in the woods and just like, runs to Orin to go get the king's note.
Where is it? Where is it? It's Pavlovian almost.
told there would be a king's note.
Yeah. So it's level 6 isn't a very exciting level. Mostly hit points.
It's kind of exciting.
Is
I get
it?
this aura of protection. So my allies within my aura, they can feel like they are just protected by me. So they add my charisma modifier to all of their saving throws.
I thought you were just gonna say they just feel protected. They're not really anymore.
They
protected.
feel good. It feels good to be around me. So I'm that kind of guy.
All right.
I wonder how we can combine that, because Stone's class mod that happens at 6th level is that I can Stone, let's not be Stone can impose disadvantage on a target saving throw against a discipline or talent I use, but I have to spend my psychic focus.
Yeah.
I've realized, I was talking to Gerald about this, I haven't been using my psychic focus a lot. It's kind of like icing on the cake type of stuff.
That's like part of the best part of the cake.
It is a good part. I should be using it more, but
It's
at
not
the
icing.
cost of
It's not even cake.
at the cost of losing my focus for a short or a long rest. I can impose disadvantage, and I think that's a pretty badass
Yeah.
ability, honestly.
Yeah, it's
So-
terrible.
Especially when you want to see
probably-
flying off the cliff.
It's probably not
Yeah.
going to be a thing that happens though. So
I
mean, just saying.
I'm sorry, DM. Go ahead and re-roll that.
all right.
It's gonna get real annoying real quick.
Yep. And then does Vanya get any neat stuff?
I got to pick some new skills to be proficient in.
That's cool.
Expertise.
Expertise.
All right.
Because I'm already anyway. So
Double proficient.
yes.
Yeah.
So I am, invisible pretty much because I stealth so awesomely.
What's your modifier now? It's on
It's a 10.
11.
It's 11? I
11,
thought it
yeah.
was a change of 10. It's 11.
11
11.
off of a D20 roll plus
Yep.
11.
And I can sleight of hand, so I'm just walking invisible, taking everything.
Stuff just
It's
disappears out of
Yeah.
your plain sight.
There's going to be a whole lot of like magical beacons that can detect anything just everywhere. Everywhere.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Good deal. Last bit of loose ends I want to tie up. Speaking of tied up, Hamley has literally
Yeah.
He's probably
I thought we let
died
him
by
go.
now.
he's been tied up
For a year
on
and a
the
half.
Clairefonta.
I thought we had a plan for him, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we did.
Did we talk about how we were going to...
I think you were going to give him back to Patroclus.
Yes, I thought,
get
yeah.
it- yeah, because Patroclus has his family.
But a plan and action are two different things, and we
Yeah, we didn't
may have
check
talked
back
about
in
it.
on him.
It didn't come up.
yeah, we kind of
previously.
decided to just go
In
do
that-
something else.
In that downtime,
Yeah. What'd you do with Hamley in the downtime?
yeah, I
That
would have brought him to Patroclus.
Okay. And
We-
determined that he
would-
outlived his usefulness.
And Patroclus
Yeah.
Oh,
looks at
gosh.
him. And Patroclus is like, "Who's this again? It's been a while. Like, who is this?"
He took his family.
Ah,
wait,
yeah.
wait, was it Patroclus or was it the HUD? The hub.
Hub.
It's Patroclus because you know
Not the heads up display. Okay.
the HUD.
The HUD.
All right. And then as far as some of your other friends, like Harvey's obviously just hanging out in the boat doing Harvey stuff. And,
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah,
The sign says "Do not disturb." Doing Harvey stuff.
doing Harvey stuff
What
on
a
the
bird man
on the
does.
poop deck.
Please knock loudly.
All right, so
goodness.
Stone. You are on a bit of a spiritual journey.
Okay. Right.
And you set out to find an old friend. Back in the day, you had a mentor that you ended up finding after you exhausted all efforts with the spectral hand and the astral chamber. And you ended up finding sort of an old hermit out in the woods who seemed to have a vast knowledge of the psionics. And he's the one who kind of led you along the way.
Right.
So
My mentor.
yes. So you venture off out into the woods on this journey, and several times you're stopping to just try to hone things in and meditate and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a good montage.
Yeah, with some like good quality, you
Yeah.
know, spooky kind of synth pads going on in the background.
On my way. On my way.
And
That's the song.
you find yourself
Let's go.
moving in that direction. So you're deep within the wilderness, and the smell of the cities, the campfires, the cook fires,
Yeah.
that's all been left in the past, and now it's just the fresh earthly scent of the forest. Tall trees are vibrant green around you. It's spring now, so everything's been in full bloom. Animals are running around doing animal stuff. It's very fun. And I need you to roll a
Initiative.
initiative. The squirrels are attacking. I need you
Oh
to
boy.
I need you to roll a perception check, please. And as we cut to the dice cam, you're going to quickly realize
Upgrade.
updated
Perception?
Look at them graphics.
perception, please.
That is a 2 on the die, unfortunately, and that puts me at a 7.
All right. So you do seem to taking some time to really study and focus where you're at. You do sense that you're on the correct path and you're getting closer. And some time passes and you kind of get turned around a little bit, but
And roll a perception check, right?
and
Time has passed.
just keep rolling more perception check.
You'll get it
And
eventually.
You hear a voice from above say, "Oh, look at this one here." And you look up, and it is the old man. His name is Wicketer. And he is hanging from a tree branch, kind of hanging down to the side. And he says, "Look who's come back to visit an old friend. What brings you here?"
What are you doing up there?
"Oh, just watching you wander around in the woods."
How long have you been watching me?
It's quite a while.
Several perception
Yes,
checks.
you only rolled a 2. And this old man, he's draped in worn rags. He's got a tall walking stick that he uses.
Oh
and
gosh, I was already picturing Rafiki.
Me too. I was just gonna say that.
It's a Disney adventure here on Myths and Mystics.
He does like a triple arm grab down
Yeah.
off the tree.
And
roll.
this is where we get copyright stricken. And
Did I say Rafiki? I
Kafiri.
meant Kafiri.
Kafiri.
okay, Wichita.
Wicketer.
Wicketer.
Wicketer. And he has...
Do I know him well?
You've spent quite a bit of time with him, so he knows a lot about you, and you know a fair amount about him. But through your time and your psionic journey, the focus has been more on you honing your powers and him being more of a mentor to you. So he hasn't disclosed a whole lot about his past, but he has helped you get to the point where you could start harnessing this energy and using it.
Okay, right.
And elderly man, most of his head has been shaved, much like your own. You shave your head for the purposes of the psionic energy, but he has tufts of this wiry white hair that sticks out, and his beard is long, and it looks like he started braiding it at one point, and there's a lot of just dreadlocked beard at that point. And he says, so, what brings you out back here again?"
I have traveled long and far, and I have been disturbed by things I've seen.
"Oh,
I needed to return here to collect my thoughts and to feel like myself again.
well, surely coming all the way from what, Orin? Are you back in Orin these days?"
At times.
At times, of course. Surely you must be hungry. Please come. And he shows you this path that leads back up to his lean-to that's up by the mountain that you spent so much time at. And there's this natural crevasse, if you will, this cave that goes into the side of this mountain with the lean-to jutting out. And there's a small cook fire there, and he has a little pot with some stew going. And do you remember the stew? Did you like it?
No.
No,
It's the worst.
So he's like, you're awfully large these days. I'll get you some extra stew here just for you. And he's ladling the stuff in.
Thank you.
How much would you like? Just say when.
When?
And he's, of course, doing the thing. "Oh, did you say when?" And he's pouring more in.
Yes.
"Oh, well,
Thank you.
Yes, here you go. And he hands it to you.
The second he turns around, my mystic hand throws half of this in the woods.
And so tell me, Stone, what's bothered you so much that you came here to see an old man like me?
Well, you remember when I was here many years ago, I told you about events in my childhood that disturbed me and visions and some great evil that I didn't understand. And
Oh, yes.
at the time, you told me it could be my imagination, but it could be something great and evil.
Yes.
I am seeing these things again, and not only seeing them, but at times I'm communicating with them, with him.
You see Wicked Turk, he was kind of pacing around with his walking stick, and he kind of slumps back a little bit, and he's nodding, and he sits down on a wood stump there, close to the fire.
Dude is so Yoda now.
And he sets
He's gonna
it
hop
down.
on my back, and we're gonna have many journeys.
Yes. It's going to be really awkward, too, because it's much like a loincloth down there. So hope you're into that.
Oh boy.
And sometimes I have to restrain myself.
Now's the time.
If you've ever been to the YMCA. All right, moving along. I've seen some stuff, man. I've seen some stuff.
I seen some shit.
I've seen it. So he says, yes, so I was afraid that possibly, that it could have just been your imagination, but something like that, tapping in at such a moment where you're realizing this power for the first time, I knew I was hoping for the best with that. I was really hoping that was just a passing moment, but you say that you've been communicating with it.
Yes. During our journey, we were tasked with finding some objects, some magical objects, evil objects. And as we tracked them down, we were led through many places far and wide, and came across a tomb. And my traveling companion, who I've known for many years, has identified these items as one of their evil gods named Halrek. And this name was not familiar to me, but when I saw the statue of him that he was enshrined in, it immediately took me back to the feelings I had when I was communicated with by this evil. And for the first time, I was transported again to a place I've never been, but I felt I've been, and I was communicating with it. Not even through words as much as feelings, but it left me stirring.
Tell me, what did the space you were transported to, what did it look like?
That's a great question. You should watch episode 2, season.
He
Two.
pulls out a cell phone
No.
and is like, I don't think I've subscribed to this. What?
Yes. Go ahead and leave a 5-star review while you're at it.
What?
Wasn't it a waterfall?
You're on the edge of a cliff, I thought.
It was definitely. I know it was high, and it kind of like came to me.
The white
Remind
space. You were in the white space. And
Well, there
then-
was the white space.
the white space, you say?
Yes, the white space.
Look at that.
Have you seen The Matrix?
I liked the first movie, but I felt like it was a long build up to a letdown.
Yes.
Yes. The second
Not a
movie,
sponsor.
The second movie was the letdown. The first movie, fantastic. Anyways, yes. So I too have experienced this white space, and I have
Why
not.
have you never mentioned this before?
I have spent many years honing my powers, and I felt as though that was a space that I could meditate in, and I could explore my own mental psionic pathways within my own mind. But you're telling me that you then stepped into this craggy cliff, dark space.
Yes, and it was there with me, and it came to me, and it very much felt like it overpowered and owned me.
I've long suspected that white space was sort of a plane that psionically I could reach out in, and I've always wondered if that was a way to communicate with others psionically. I've never been able to do it myself, so I never shared it with you, as I feared that there was maybe something only I could do. So this is interesting. You say Halrek was the name of this ancient god demon.
Yes, it's one of the pagans' gods, an evil one. I have a friend who doesn't worship this Halrek, but he's on the other side of the coin, following the gods of his that are good, but he knows of him, and it is a force not to be reckoned with. And I will say, we destroyed everything we could of his. We took these artifacts and gave them to the astral chamber. They have allegedly destroyed them, or sent them into some other plane on some sort of goose chase, but I still feel that he's not gone.
Well, perhaps there is something I should tell you. In my years,
I'm him. Dun, dun, dun.
What a twist! I'm joking you now. I'm Halrek. Watch out! He says, for many, I had no one to turn to. I discovered this psionic power within me on my own, and I went on my own spiritual journey, trying to find answers. And my awakening was much different than yours. There was no darkness reaching out to me, that sort of thing. It sort of just happened, and trying to find answers, I studied upon many ancient texts talking about the mystics, and with that, I found that the mystics, they worked hand in hand with the demons long ago. The demons were the ones that came to help man get rid of the gods. We made pacts with them. They are the ones, especially Halrek was the one who showed man how to open their minds to tap into this psionic force.
You're saying that everything we do comes from this source?
Halrek, no, the power doesn't come from him. He merely helped man open the gate within their own mind. The gods were unaware that man was even capable of this power that was within them, and Halrek was the one who showed us. And paired with the power of the demons, we drove off many of the gods and soon all of them. And I say we, I wasn't there. I just, we in the general loose third-person term, I guess. So there was a time where the demons then began to turn on man. And it was one of the most powerful mystics that was able to trick Halrek and get him captured within his tomb. His name was Strata. He was the most powerful of the mystic. He was considered the right hand of Tyr. And
Tyr, I've heard this name.
yes, the
Tyr is who my friend worships.
Interesting. That's not many worship Tyr these days. That was the practices and the teachings of Tyr. With the mystics carried that on for ages. It's a dying art. Not much is needed of the gods these days, it seems. But had the mystics not done something about Halrek and these demons, they would have overthrown us. Somehow, I don't know how, Strata was able to catch Halrek down in his temple. His worshippers were down there, the Onyx army, the Obsidian army, I should say.
I've seen them.
Yes. They feed on the energy of the dead, and Halrek will return to his temple to feed them this energy of the dead. That's where he caught them. Halrek was down there. Strata took everything that he could to capture him in the chains of the ancients, to bind him there. And in an attempt to restrain Halrek indefinitely, he exhausted every bit of psionic energy he had to cast him in stone. It was strange, though, because Strata, from what I've read, he disappeared not long after that. It seemed as though there was a severe amount of just hemorrhaging in his psionic plane that just couldn't be repaired. And he disappeared. And that's the last we've heard of it. And not long after, the mystics, they dissipated. They no longer had a great teacher. And for some reason, centuries later, I'm awoken with this power, and now you. And the fact that you're telling me that this Halrek's reaching out to you, it seems as though perhaps he's trying to awaken more, maybe to do his bidding, maybe something else. I'm not sure.
Full disclosure, I smashed that statue.
Oh,
Is that...
that's what happened.
Well, I didn't sense that he was in it. So, out of a fit of uncontrol, for which I am sorry, I did destroy the statue. But nothing happened. He must not have been there for some time. And that's what was unnerving, was I was expecting something. I was expecting to see him or to feel this energy leave and never bother me again, but it seemed as if he wasn't there at all. So...
Do you feel the spirit that reached out to you in your mind through that white space? Do you feel that
Oh,
was...
it's him. I can't put my finger on the specifics, but when I saw that statue's face, I knew. All of me knew. And I've never seen him before, but I felt like I've known him for all this time. Since I was a boy.
So when you see him in that space, in that vision that you had, what did he look like? Do you remember? That's
Big, sharp, pointy teeth.
big serpent.
I thought you couldn't see a lot of detail. I thought he was just like
In
dark.
the space?
Yes, when you're in that
Not the
space,
statue.
in your psionic space,
He was just a red orb.
and maybe it was blue.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, blue.
Well, I am colorblind.
Yes. Duly noted.
Okay, no. So it was. I did not see him there. It was. He was just was represented as this blue orb of energy, but I could still feel the connection when I saw the statue. It's hard to explain, but as you know, our minds can connect these things that we can't see with our conscious.
That's correct. Now, your Stone is also going to recall the second time that this happened. There was not only the blue orb at the far end, but then there
red
was
one. Yes.
There was a figure that
I
was
remember the red one.
bathed in black shadows, standing
The black-
right
yes,
next
right.
to you.
Yes.
That's
the
the
edge
one.
of the cliff. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yes. That's rather peculiar that you saw two forms there. I wonder.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yes, I can tell.
A blue orb and a red
It's
orb.
been a minute, all right?
He says, so you're telling me that there was two spiritual forms of these energies within this space. And I wonder if perhaps he kind of trails off and he looks away.
What?
Well, I'm wondering if somehow when Strata was trying to entomb Halrek, perhaps part of Halrek's psionic energy bonded with Strata. And
No.
I'm just an old man in the woods.
I mean, no.
I'm just the old man in the woods.
Sound-
What do I
That
know?
can't be it. What else do you
That
got?
can't be it.
You think that's possible?
The amount of energy he would have had to expel to entomb Halrek, is so possible. Perhaps that was a last ditch effort by Halrek, was to transfer part of his mind in there. I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of things that you can do in the psionic space, but perhaps in a form of possession almost? I'm not sure.
So, Strata may be held there against his will? Or he may be helping this evil force in some way?
I don't fully understand the psionic arts.
Well, damn it, man.
I
What
know.
can you tell me?
Well, I'll tell you what's in the stew. It's not rabbit.
Well, I didn't eat the fucking stew.
I know you threw it out in the woods. You're a terrible house guest.
Didn't know you saw it.
I don't even know why I allow you on this mountain. And then he does that thing where he like elbows you really hard in the ribs with his bony elbow.
yes,
Yeah, it's
good.
terrible. Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't know what that feels like.
Yes. So he says, I don't pretend to know all the things about the mystics or what is capable of being done within your own mind with the psionic power, but it is possible that somehow he was able to preserve his psionic energy indefinitely, and in that space, perhaps Halrek is there too. Either way, my concern is that if all this is happening and you're telling me all this, something bigger is at play here. So, I'll tell you what, I can't give you much to aid you on your way, but
If it's a bag of holding, I'm good.
oh shit. Well, I'll tell you what, son. You make me proud, boy. You really do. You've come a long way. You're a sturdy young lad, many years ahead of you, and I'm afraid that what you're meddling with now could be could be far greater than what you're ready for. Here's what I can give you.
2 levels.
Level up. He gets up
It's Kingsdown right now.
and he hobbles over to his lean-to, and he comes back out with something that's wrapped in this blanket. And as he's unraveling it, you see it's a spear, and it's his spear that he had carried for so long that kind of inspired you back in the day that maybe this is something that you would
That's why I carry a spear.
yeah, and it's just the same spear. I mean, there's nothing special.
All right. It's just much older, more worn, and does less damage.
It's
Great.
actually pretty shitty.
Second I leave, I pitch this spear in the woods.
Right
Chuck
with the
this
soup.
thing.
Throw it into the stew.
He says, "No, this one is a little different than the other spears. This one allows you to channel a piece of your psionic energy every time that you attack with it. It gives you an extra 1d6 in psionic damage when you attack with it."
Sweet.
That's excellent.
Thanks for telling me the extra parts.
No problem. And then he says, and it has some other additional benefits and features.
He hands you a manual.
Like this remote control.
So, as a free action, once per day, when you use your push ability,
Yeah.
you can immediately follow it with a second push of equal damage
Whoa.
for equal side points.
Once a day?
Once per day. You still got to use the side points, but it's a free action.
Is this once every 24 hours?
Once
Long
per
rest, probably.
Per day?
per day, 24 hours.
11:59. I can do it again at 12 o'clock.
Pretty sure it requires you take a long rest.
Long rest.
No,
is-
no. Don't start putting words in his mouth. This is on record. All right.
It says, "I hope you enjoy the spear, son. I know you've always been off in the woods practicing with it, and I trust that this will do you well." So,
Will you be safe out here without it?
well,
You've
boy,
always had it.
I'm getting older, and I'm afraid if you wait as long to see me again, all you'll find is an old, tired body that's died long, long ago.
No. Well, then I'll just stay here with you.
Oh well,
This will
okay.
be fun.
You're just going to watch me die.
Yeah.
This does sound a lot like Empire, doesn't it?
And Stone was not seen by the party members again. No.
Be sure, son. Be sure to hold on to what is true and what matters most to you. You do know what that is, don't you?
I still think I do.
Good. Be well. And he grabs you on the shoulder with his tiny, frail hand, and he pats it. And we're gonna cut away from Stone.
All right. That's
right.
pretty awesome.
Cool.
He's a good dude.
All
Always
right.
liked him.
I like that.
I like that guy.
I like this guy's giving me
Wichita.
advice.
Yeah. Well, he's
Bad
dead
chat.
now. He's dead. Like as soon as you leave, he's not coming back.
Wikipedia's dead.
Wicca what?
WikiLeaks died.
Wiki dead. All right. We're gonna cut over to Zarin.
Yes.
Zarin, you are back at the hub, and you have spent a fair amount of the evening. You, Vanya, and there's some other guests there too, some NPCs that have come and gone in your character lines. That y'all were downstairs at your private tap room. You're all drinking. Zarin decided to retire for the evening, so you've gone upstairs and you've laid down to go to sleep.
That reminds me. I've been the form that I take most. He's an accomplished artist. He's actually proficient in art, and he paints scenes of where he's where he's done his justice.
Committed his job.
Done his job.
All right. So Zarin walks into his room. The light's on. It's a perfectly normal room. And he closes the door behind him. And all over the backside of the door is all these horrible paintings of people dying by his hands.
just the scenes, just the place,
Oh,
not the actual
landscapes.
people. Yeah.
I gotcha. All right. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. And so you lay down and you go to sleep. And before you know it, Zarin is in that dream that he has had every night. And
Wonderful dream.
it doesn't start off right away, but before you know it, it's dark out, and the summer night is heavy with the humidity, and the field leading up to your house is sporadically illuminated with fireflies igniting and the steady hum of crickets filling the air. as you walk up to your house, what does your old house, the house you used to live in, what does it look like?
It's a humble farmhouse. So, and there's the old fence post that he kind of made by hand and put it up. It's just a thatched roof cottage, ripe for the burninating.
Burninator. So as you approach, this has happened again every night, and even though sometimes you have a little bit of control of what goes on, sometimes you don't. Every time you always have this uneasy feeling, even though it's familiar, even though there's great memories that have happened here, there's always this uneasy pit in your stomach. You spent years in this house, and since the only time that you've seen this house has been in your dreams. It's long, long gone from this earth. And those sweet moments where you're so lost in her eyes, it's coming back to you. And the details of the dream, every time you have it, they might change a little bit, what you see, what you experience. But where it starts and the events throughout, they'll shift from time to time, but it always ends the same. A dark knife pushed into a soft neck. So for years, this dream would haunt you. You wake up screaming and tearing at anything that was around you. But from time to time, there was a moment of just redemption and just seeing her face again. Just at least being able to see her gave you some kind of comfort, even though you knew that moments later it'd be taken away from you.
Yeah.
And when the knife came, every time it would bring rage, but sometimes it would just bring sorrow because you knew it was happening and there was nothing you could do about it. But sometimes you have a little bit more control and you're able to move around and you're able to see things. And tonight, maybe it was the amount of alcohol you had to drink, maybe it was the conversations that you were having. It seems to be a little bit more lucid, where you're able to move around and experience what's going on. But even though this is all happening, it just hasn't unfolded yet like it normally does. So you're standing on this pathway that leads up to your house. You see it off in the distance. There's some smoke coming out of the chimney. What do?
Stop for a moment and look from side to side. At the same time, trying to shake the dread feeling in the pit of his stomach. Also taking in this moment, remembering the peace and the happiness that he once had before beginning walking again toward the home, toward the front door.
So as you approach, you get that savory smell of a beef stew, much better than the concoction Stone had moments ago. Your wife, she was quite the cook. What was her name?
Wow, I had that written down. I didn't know you could ask me for that.
It's been a minute.
It has been.
Her sweet, sweet name. So as you're walking up, you can smell that beef stew, and there's a warm lantern light in the windows. It's like she expected you to come home from work, whatever it was that you were doing out in the fields. And her name was, I feel like it was Anya.
No, it was actually
Probably not even close. I don't know.
Avery.
Avery. Samsonite. It's way off. All right, so you walk up to the house and your hand, are you in true Zarin form? I would imagine you are.
Yeah. It's a little less dark looking, more like the hopeful satyr with a light behind his eyes in place of dark, bloody vengeance.
All right. So you twist the doorknob and you pull it open and you step inside, and the floor's a bit harder in there, and there she is. You see the frame of her from behind, and she's making dinner. There's a cauldron that she has that's on the wood-burning stove there, and she stands next to it, adding in some various spices. She looks up at you with that familiar smile, and her eyes light up the room. She moves her mouth, but no noise comes out. She's saying something to you, but there's no audible noise. Could you roll a perception check for me?
Twice as good as
This happens in my marriage too. My wife is speaking, and there's just nothing registering.
We know that feeling.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stone. Sorry, Zarin.
So unfortunately,
Yes.
unfortunately, you're not able to make it out. And as you strive to hear what she says, things start to shift quickly. You're really trying to focus on what she's saying, and as that happens, the scene already starts to shift, and you're no longer standing in the kitchen. The two of you are over by this large window that overlooks the fields in front of your house, and she's laying up against your chest, and there's a couple of empty bowls next to you that once had dinner in it, and she leans up, she gives you a kiss on the cheek. She reaches over and picks up the bowls, and she starts to take them back into the kitchen. What do you do? Better help with the fucking dishes, that's what.
Bright turns the game on. I would think.
I give her a nice good smack on the ass.
So you start
That
to
a
walk,
girl.
you start to walk over to her, and
I'm sorry, Natasha. For what you have to deal with. If there's any glimpse.
She likes it.
so in your mind, you start to follow her in, and it seems like as you're using what cognitive force you have within this dream, as you start to move, time shifts rapidly again, and now it's completely dark. And as you get your wits about you within this dream, you start to realize, even though it's completely dark, you're laying there and you start to realize you're in your old bedroom. And you're laying there and you look out the window, as it was always to your right as you turn your head while you're laying there.
That's why I hate this dream. It always skips the best parts.
Yeah, right. And you do see the light of the stars outside, and it's softly illuminating the contours of her skin as she's laying there, her head up against your chest. And she looks up at you, and she puts her hand up to your face, and she says something again. But again, she's saying something, and you feel like you should know what she's saying, but she's not making any noise when she's speaking. So
You forgot what her voice sounds like. And that's why you can't hear her.
She's saying, "Did you take the trash down to the curb?"
I blocked it out.
Can you roll another perception check for me, please?
It's gonna give you a second go at this.
Right.
Wah wah wah.
Wow, it's been going up. We got a 2, a 4, and then we got a 6.
All
but I
right.
do have a +6, +5. I have 11 average. Can I hear
Above
the sound
average.
of someone talking less than a foot away from my face?
So, in this moment, with the light barely coming in through the window, you do not hear what she says, but
Dang.
you are certain that you can read what she's saying on her lips. And she says, "Don't blame yourself." And suddenly, your vision burns from a torch that's in the room. Your arms are held back and restrained, and you can hear yourself screaming. The smell of smoke and sulfur is in the air, and the covers are ripped back, and there she is, pulled off the bed, kicking her legs as she fights to break free. Roll me another perception check, please.
This was supposed to be
It
an
was
8.
not an 8. Wow, still a 6.
Yeah, still got an 11 there.
All right. So you see, again, these two dark figures, jagged in form, holding her back. And there's a third from behind, produces a black dagger. You try to move. As you do in every dream, you use every bit of might that you have, and you're hoping tonight, just for the sake of this dream, maybe for once, you can break free and save her. And as you reach forward, you feel your arms restrained by a host of similar figures. And you hear a voice in your ear. Something that you have not heard ever before in your dreams in the past. And it's right in your ear, and it's almost like a hiss. In the past, it's always been blocked out by her screaming, your screaming, shouting, things being knocked over. But this time, you hear it distinctly, and it rings in your ears, and it's what you wake up to. It's one word right in your ear, and this hiss says, "Sinner." And you're awake. We're going to cut to a break. Welcome to the break. I want to talk to you real quick about something that's near and dear to my heart. and that is spaying and neutering your pets. Because I'm tired of your pets walking all over my lawn, loitering, just hanging out, wanting their bellies rubbed. I can only rub so many bellies, and I've only got one belly to rub in my house. And maybe it's mine, maybe it's somebody else's. That's for me to find out and you to know. Wait, it's for you to... Either way, while you're busy Googling what that's all about, slide on over to mystics.com. We've got all of our social media on there. We've got all the videos on there, backstories, artwork, all this great stuff. You can download and save it for later. You know what I mean? For later. Right click, download, save as. Add it to your collection, add it to your things to do. But if you really want to rub our bellies, go over to @MythsAndMystics for Twitters and for Instagrams, and leave us some stuff over there. Leave us some juicy nuggets over there. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you back on the show. Welcome back from the break. I'm sure whatever commercial you just listened to does not fit the tone and format of everything you were listening to before that. So, two very different mental states. It's
Gives him a breather because that was kind of heavy.
It was a little heavy. We haven't really explored that space a whole lot with Zarin, you know?
Yeah, you start to explore the Zarin space, it's going to get a little heavy, a little dark.
A little heavy.
Well, I thought it was heavy with Matt too. I mean,
It's a
not
heavy
not so
episode.
much dark, but it's definitely.
I have the
going on.
sinking suspicion that this episode would be much better if the three of us weren't here and Steve was just left to do this on. He's like, "Tell me what you saw." No, you're destroying what you saw.
Like,
let
this
me
whole
tell
thing's
you what you
falling
saw.
apart around me. Everything's burning.
And we keep
everything's
rolling like
okay.
terrible rolls.
Right.
So you just forget that page, tear, toss.
No, it's I think it's one of those things when I'm writing all this and I'm coming up with it and I'm thinking 10 steps ahead as to where this stuff might be relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know how impactful it will be on different levels, but I think it all makes sense.
It's good. I'm excited.
Me
I like
too.
this stuff.
I'm liking this.
Yeah,
So-
so if you're coming in late in the game, you're just getting caught up with the episodes, listen to this one, and then listen to the last episode in this season, and then you'll be like, oh, it all makes sense. We haven't lost the meaning in a bunch of missions and nonsense.
I think this is a nice way to get reacquainted with the characters because we haven't talked about some of these things since season 1.
Exactly, and we haven't talked about what Vanya's been up to. So Zarin had gone to bed, and we got to see his horrible dream, and Vanya likes to drink. And in the east wing of the hub, you all had completed a mission previously where that was your reward. You got to take over that east wing. You have your own private quarters there where you each have a room
I had the big one.
with the bunk beds.
Yeah.
Yep. And then keep all my stuff on the bottom bunk. It's easier to get to. And Vanya, you were down at your private tap room. And as you recall from season 1, you had a little gnomish buddy named Varric. And he's bouncing around behind the bar and he's pouring some drinks and
Making all the best hooch.
Yeah, he makes different flavored hooch, if I recall.
so Vanya, you're still sitting there at the bar. This is probably, I don't know, which drink are you on at this point?
Still, I don't know. Vanya doesn't count.
Roll 1d12.
Yeah, roll a d20. Let's see how
yeah.
deep in this is. Here we go.
8.
8.
Perfect.
That's not bad.
What's your modifier on that?
If you're going by U.S. government studies, then 8 is like considered
12. Yeah,
complete
16.
alcohol abuse.
Yeah, that's abusive. Yeah, how's your alcohol skill modifier?
Yep. So you've been sitting there drinking, and among you is Amos, the young tiefling fellow. You remember him?
Yes.
Gosh.
I remember him.
Your favorite buddy,
What's the name of the lady he was?
Chandra.
I thought it was Chandra.
Chandra. She has yet to show up
She's a
since then.
planeswalker.
Yeah, she's just out there doing stuff. She's gonna end up being the big bad evil.
Oh,
Yeah, what a twist.
she was Mara.
Chandra, she's got the firepower. She incinerates everything.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, and Amos he seems to be a little bit of a lightweight when it comes to drinking. So he's swaying.
Oh my
So, oh, Hey, thanks again for your help back there on that mission.
And thank you for your contribution to underage drinking.
No, it's like totally legal, I think. But hey.
Oh gosh.
I did end up getting that a new shirt. Check it out. And he kind of leans back and shows you the shirt he got from the gold that he got on that mission. Oh my God. Says Chandra said I should save the money, but I needed that shirt. It's pretty righteous, don't you think?
Does that have like pictures of us on it?
It's crudely drawn stick figures of the three of you. And he
Very
says,
nice.
"But hey, I owe you money." And he pulls out a bag of gold of what's left. He's like, "I said 12, right? 12 gold?" And he starts pulling
Yes.
out gold coins and he slides them over. He's like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "I'm like really drunk. So,
Anytime.
like, thanks, friend. I gotta go." So
Probably best.
yeah, I'm glad you see things my way. So he gets up and he kind of salutes as he stumbles out the door, and he leaves. And Varric's behind the bar, and he says, "Well, Vanya, how's the drink? Are you enjoying the new brew?"
I am.
Excellent. I just want you to know we've been doing quite well with our new Hooch Empire. Can you say that with me real quick? Because I want everyone to remember where it all started. Say, behold,
Behold,
my,
behold my huge empire.
and at that he raises a glass and you two toast each other and you down another drink.
I think it's important just to take a moment and pause
Yes.
and note that Mist and Mystics does not encourage alcoholism in any form. We're not drinking alcohol out of our cups.
Did we
if
say
you
it was
need-
alcohol?
If you need help, please. What's the website?
MissandMystics.com. Head on over there, check it out. And
If you or a friend you know have a problem with alcohol, go to mythsmystic.com. Please donate whilst you're inebriated.
he says, I just want you to know what we have right now is a select batch of legitimate brews that are going out all over Enovis. And the Legion gets their cut, of course. That was what we negotiated. The Hub is getting their cut. And from there, give it another month or so, and we're going to start seeing a profit on this. It's going to be quite well for all of us. We'll get some new equipment. I'll be making some new brews. What do you think about all that?
I think we should be making profit already.
I think it sounds like an invasive amount of government taxation.
Well, we had the upfront investment. We had to get the VATs. We had to get all the brewing equipment and all that. That all cost quite a bit of money, but what with paying off the Legion, the Hub,
Oh, they fronted it.
Well, this stuff doesn't grow on trees. If it did, it'd be.
Well, we'd all be dead.
He says, I do have one concern though. We've been running these carriage loads everywhere, but there's one that hasn't come back recently. Where Amos has been staying is out east. There's all those folks you've been rescuing on your missions. They started a camp out east, and that care package, the carriage never came back.
Was it drawn by horses?
Never mind the carriage.
Didn't see it.
Yes, those poor souls out there, they're finding a new path in life, and you and the other two thought it would be a great idea to send them some hooch, and that carriage just hasn't come back.
We only sent one?
Well, there's a lot of hooch on there. You would just want to send more?
No. How long ago?
Yeah, it went out first thing this morning, and it should have been back by now. It's not that far of a ride. If you don't mind, I am quite worried about them. Do you mind checking them?
I will go.
Perfect. And he says, I really do appreciate it. I will get things tidied up here, and I'll leave a light burning for you.
All right. See you soon.
Perfect. So
She
Vanya
finishes her drink first.
stands up and pounds a drink, no problem.
Constitution save.
Yes. This would be like one of those Grand Theft Auto missions where everything's instantly in like the drunk cam mode. And
Yeah. I gotta do what?
Vanya still has her horse, right?
Correct.
We have a place for them in the East Wing
Why you want to kill
area. No. No.
You do have a stables outside where you keep your horses and that sort of
Okay.
thing. Yep.
No, she's not going to do it while it's carrying Hooch. Only while there's a whole cart
it?
full
After
of
she
people.
gets there, she'll
in
kill
it.
the horse. Right. Okay.
So you go out, you get your horse, you saddle up, and you start to travel east. And why don't you roll a Constitution saving throw for me? This would be fun.
I can't. Traveling east, I can never. that always evokes the image of.
Is that a 20?
No, I think it's a 19.
Wow.
it's a big number. The image from
That's a 13, friend.
Diablo
Oh.
2, the intro video. He's talking to who he thinks is Tyrael there in the insane asylum. I think. It's
Yeah.
Always we travel to the east.
Always to the east.
It'll be 14. You said saving throw?
Correct.
I'm old.
All right, 14. So you do feel what would be the effects of a good strong beer buzz, tingly, a little bit numb in the fingers. Your lips are a bit numb too, but you walk out no problem, full stride, get on that horse and you ride. You ride east.
We
Does she
ride.
still have an 11 modifier on her stealth?
We'll find out.
They see the horse, but nothing else.
Yeah, empty horse. Nothing to worry about.
Ride like this? Yeah.
Just a wild Mustang.
She rides with her arms crossed. So little
Nobody
Mark
can
off
see
skate.
me.
You got to cover one eye while you're riding. It's not gonna double. So you're don't do any of this stuff, friends.
Don't ride horses.
Don't ride horses drunk. It is illegal to do. And so you ride east. As you're
Wait,
riding,
how do you know that?
don't ask those kind of questions on the air. Roll a perception check for me as you're riding.
Don't ask questions. Do rolls
Oh
perception.
my goodness.
That's a 5 on the die.
She got some expertise in perception though.
Yeah?
11.
11. Okay, perfect. So as you're riding east, you get about 25 minutes east of the hub there, and you're scouting around. You're looking with your dark vision. You're looking for any signs that maybe this thing's off on the side of the road. Maybe it got robbed. Maybe it's off in the distance coming your way. And as you're looking about, you hear a roar, like a low roar, kind of grumbling, off the side of the road
Is that a
into the
dying
woods.
giraffe?
What do giraffes sound like? Period.
I ready my crossbow in that direction.
Yeah. So
Slow down a little bit.
okay, so as you slow down your horse and you come to a stop and you're now surveying the area, you hear it again off in the distance, that sort of low groan, like, and you see up on the side of the road, off towards the grass, right on the edge of the tree line there, the cart looks like it's been completely overturned and destroyed. The horse is gone. I ain't nobody.
Okay. Is there any? I'm gonna investigate. Is there anything in the cart, like carriage or whatever?
This would be an appropriate time for an investigation roll. She rolls the die. She walks up to the cart
Oh man.
and she's taking a look
15.
around. And as you're looking around, you do see some evidence that this was that carriage indeed. There's a some shipping information there as far as where it's going to, who to talk to, and that sort of thing. And you do see it looks as though there is a fair amount of blood. And as you look up, it looks like it's leading into the woods.
In the same
But
direction
why
as
is
the sound.
But why is the rum gone?
There's the rum. So you, it seems like it's leading directly towards a little growly, roary sound.
And the alcohol, is it all gone? You said shipping
all gone.
labels.
Yeah, well, they shipped it all out over there to the,
Oh, so it looks as if it were on its way back.
yeah,
Okay.
the booze is gone.
So the booze made it. Thank goodness.
hate for that to go to waste.
It's not all a loss.
Jeez, I was worried.
All right. I will stealth towards the sound with my crossbow ready.
Perfect.
Wait, what do I have to do? Like a ready to action trigger thing? If my crossbow's ready?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and roll a stealth check.
She's so good at
This could be like a plus
I
20 on
know.
this.
Womp, womp, womp.
15.
You gotta
Yeah, it
modify
still ends up being a win.
So Vanya drops down, and she's even with the buzz, it feels like she has even more sense as to what she's doing as she's stepping through the woods, very slowly, very
Drunken
carefully.
master.
Yes. As she's stepping through, and you're starting to hear a little bit more of this growling, you also hear what sounds like jowls chomping a little bit,
Oh no.
which I won't do in the headphones. Audio nightmare for some people. And,
Audio pleasure for others.
We'll have an ASMR channel. You can listen to that sound.
Mystics.com. And as you make your way through the woods with your crossbow drawn, you see what looks to be one of those large, white-looking werewolves that you faced off against a long time ago. And it's hunched over. It's a bit smaller than the last ones that you encountered, but it's tearing away at this carcass of what looks to be probably human, and it's eating as it goes, and its face is the hair's matted with this blood from its prey there.
I only see signs of one.
Just the one. Dramatic pause.
I want to shoot it.
Okay.
Why wouldn't
But
you?
you know, you like in a video game, you could go choo 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 before
the
it even
horses?
like comes at me.
Well,
But I don't think that's gonna
you
happen here.
got assassinate. It's not aware
So-
of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it
Okay. Go ahead and roll attack.
with my assassinate. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
sword advantage.
So I have
All the
advantage.
dice.
Unless he was attacking the carcass, in which case, technically.
Okay.
Give advantage.
Ah,
Oh, I do.
yep. Member? Memby?
Oh, that's better.
It's an 18.
All right, so Vanya takes aim, and she takes a shot and go ahead and roll damage. 1,000,000 billion damages.
And your D6s.
All of those.
Well, you do 3 sneak attack. And then your crossbow does a D6 or D8?
D6.
Okay, so 2 of those.
And then
And then a
D6 for the
D4.
frost. Or is it D4 for frost?
A D4.
There you go. There you go.
Are you sure that's it?
Now you do it twice.
And then the D4 again.
And then
That's
a
it.
D4
There's
again.
like so many dice there.
Yeah. What'd you get? What'd you get? Many.
Count them out.
Check out,
18, 19,
check
20.
out those dice cams.
Plus this one
That.
again. 21 plus 6. So 27.
7.
Holy smokes. So this bolt rips through the woods, and this beast, it's hit kind of in the chest, and it stumbles back, and it looks up and snarls, and it is now they're angry, and it's coming your way.
Wait.
Yeah? What am I waiting for?
Cunning action.
Obfuscate.
Yeah? Oh. Hide. Time to hide. Hide.
Yep.
Hide. Do it. Roll it.
Oh.
What was that noise?
I'm nervous.
That's the noise she made.
A below average die roll.
Yeah,
or so.
17.
She tried to
That's
scare
below
it.
average.
For her die, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still get like plus what 11?
11.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
She's
So-
so roguey.
So this beast looks up like it's gonna run her way, and then suddenly like, what the hell just happened? There's really nasty bees out here or something. He's swatting around at the air. All right, so your turn again.
Yay!
Never gonna do a one-on-one encounter with fire. Just
I sneak attack and I hide. And I
This-
sneak attack and I hide.
this is just like every single Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. Once you
Yeah.
maximize sneak, it's like, where'd that noise come from? Must have been my imagination. Meanwhile, there's just dead bodies. Like, so are you gonna attack again?
Is it assassinate again? He's aware of me because I shot him, right?
I
Here's-
think he's aware that there's danger. He just doesn't know where you're coming from. So
Sneak attack.
yeah, you can only assassinate at the beginning.
Okay.
She's literally right in front of it, sneaking with
19.
her sword, and it just cannot see her. She's just right
19.
there. 19.
All right. I'm gonna expedite this a little bit.
Okay.
And you kill it.
After many sneaks.
They say you learn something new every day. I've learned something today.
Yeah.
No more one-on-ones with a rogue. Yes, your second shot follows up, and it's in the kill zone, and it instantly drops this large, white, terrible-looking. It's not really a werewolf. Quogoth. I say Quogoth. Some say
Tomato,
Quogoth.
tomato.
Yep. Fighting tomatoes tomorrow, and this Quogoth drops to the ground. What do you do?
I'm gonna
Teabag it.
Do a medical
Yeah, teabag.
no.
medicine check on the carcass.
No.
Do CPR.
Okay, before I do anything, I want to listen for a minute to make sure there's nothing else coming.
Perception.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
It's great.
I rolled a 4. That's not great.
That's a terrible.
But you have good modifiers.
That's 8. That'd be 12.
12.
Yeah.
8 plus 4 is 12.
Wow.
Okay.
This game, I'll tell you. So you pause for a moment and you hunker down and you're listening and you just have the familiar sounds of the forest. Those squirrels are just going at it. They're going nuts. And
Doing what animals do.
doing what animals do.
Squirrels are going.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing
But squirrels.
Yeah.
So as you're surveying the area with your dark vision, you notice that there is the ground kind of swells up into kind of a tall hill. It's not really a mountain per se, but you do notice that there's a dark spot over there. And as you kind of maneuver a little bit from tree to tree, you start to realize that, yeah, this is a cavern that goes down quite a ways. Deep. Do you want to go check it out?
Doesn't seem very important. I'll just move along.
Yes, I do.
All right, so you step over, ready to actions, all that good stuff, because I know you guys get weird. You're like, I gotta make sure. You are readied with your crossbow in case anything pops out at you.
I have dark vision.
And you have dark vision. And there are some nasty spiders hanging around, so you step around those. You did a good job with that. And you come up on the mouth of this cavern. It's only maybe 8 feet in diameter.
Okay.
Diameter? Yeah, diameter. And as you look down, it goes down maybe a good 30 feet or so. And it looks like part of it's been caved in. But there's one opening that looks like it was big enough that a body could pass through, like this beast might have come up from underneath. And given your experience being a drow, you're familiar with the Underdark. There aren't a whole lot of openings that will take you down that way, but you have a creature that dwells in the Underdark. You have a cave leading downwards. If we're going to do some quick algebra in our heads.
Roll perception. Roll intelligence.
Calculus. It's going to get really complicated.
All
Roll
right.
for obvious plot.
Yes.
I want to, of course, listen again. I don't want to just run in there.
Okay.
And
So,
stealth.
yep. So we're just going to go off your previous rolls. So as you approach, you're going to go down there? Mm-hmm. Are you going to go?
If
Yeah.
it's quiet.
What if he
seems-
was like, you're going to go down there? You go,
You
yeah.
go down?
He goes,
Can't go there?
really?
Okay, there's like 5 of them down there.
Are you sure?
So it doesn't seem as though you're hearing any other noise. You approach and you head down in, and you are now standing where this area's been caved in, and this hole's maybe about 3 feet around. What do you want to do?
As in going down more, further? That's what you mean?
So
Because I said I was
Go
going
down
in.
more.
with your perception check, here's what I'll give you. From the earlier one is that I'm just going to gloss right over that, pretend that didn't happen. It does seem as though this area has been caved in intentionally at some point, and it seems as though there are some larger rocks that could be knocked down to block this hole. Or time to go down to the Underdark. What do you want to do?
I can't go there by myself.
What drow would ever do that?
She's not supposed to be unchaperoned.
Ever since the incident.
Yeah,
the incident.
She was given strict
Yeah.
rules.
They know I'm half drow. I will get like killed by the drow.
Ever since the Drow prom, it just hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drow, the one of them there half breed.
All right, I am going to place the rocks in front of the hole to block it off. But I mean, I'll still be able to see this coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're familiar with the area.
Okay, I'm taking. What is going on?
These guys
Phrasing.
phrasing. All right.
Please mind your P's and Q's.
Are we doing that still? Is that a thing
Is
we're
that a
doing?
thing? Is
Phrasing?
that a thing? So Vanya reaches up, and there's a larger boulder that looks as though you could pry it away with maybe your short sword. And as you pry away, the boulder collapses down, and it has blocked off that passage to the Underdark.
All right.
So as you're standing there and you're contemplating this, and you're thinking back to the Quogoth that you faced earlier, and you go back up and you look at this Quogoth one more time. As you recall, the ones that you faced off a long time ago, like the ones that were shackled, they all had branding on the back of their neck.
This one's half drow too.
Gross. You walk up to it and you tilt its head over, and you take your short sword again and you kind of push away some of the hair to see if maybe there's a branding there, and there's no branding to be found.
It's not
Wild.
a slave.
The wild.
It's a wild
Yes.
It's one of them there.
So at that moment, the camera pans out into the woods, up into the sky because it's a drone shot.
Yes.
And friends, I want to thank you so much for joining us again on season 3, kicking things off. We're doing things a little bit different. Tune in again next week. We'll see you next time. Thank ya. That's it for Miss and Mystics.